This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
The search for Jack and Lilly. Cadaver dogs failed to find the remains of the missing Pictou County children.
Cabot Golf. West Mabou residents tee off on a proposed course that would include part of the provincial park.
And wrestling for all. Meet the Nova Scotia man aiming to make the sport more inclusive.
Rain overnight, clearing into Thursday. Much cooler air on the way in. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. The trial of a former Halifax bouncer accused of manslaughter in the death of Ryan Sawyer nearly 3 years ago is underway.
Alex Levy has pleaded not guilty in the case. The CBC's Richard Cuthbertson brings us this update. A warning, this story contains video footage that shows disturbing moments.
It's a first look. Video shown at the trial of Alex Levy the night Ryan Sawyer died. It's 1:13 a.m. on December 24th, 2022, just outside the popular alehouse bar in downtown Halifax. Ryan, in the plaid shirt and jeans, his twin brother Kyle, and at the door, bouncer Alex Levy. Ryan Sawyer approaching Levy, Kyle Sawyer shoving him. The surveillance footage played repeatedly this week at Levy's manslaughter trial. Within minutes of the scuffle beginning, police were desperately performing CPR on Ryan Sawyer, an unsuccessful attempt to save his life. His death, what happened during those crucial minutes, at the heart of the trial in Nova Scotia Supreme Court. And a warning, some of the video played in court this week shows disturbing moments. Small pieces captured by bystanders.
Alehouse, none of that is necessary. You guys actually took that.
Ryan Sawyer's family attending each day of trial, watching it all played again and again in court, and listening to testimony, including from the first police officers on scene. One of them, Constable Jairus Lamphere, telling the court Levy had Ryan Sawyer on the ground in a chokehold. Ryan was limp, his lips purple. The officer says he demanded Levy let him go, but had to grab and pull the bouncer's arm. Many details have emerged during the trial, including from other former security staff at the bar. For instance, Alex Levy wasn't just a bouncer. He was the head of the entire security team, even gave some in-house training. Testimony also about what happened earlier inside the bar, including from Kyle Sawyer, himself injured during the incident outside, acknowledging he'd had between 8 and 10 drinks that night, saying he spilt a beer on another patron, video surveillance showing a commotion. The brothers eventually escorted out. A bouncer testifying Kyle was arguing with them in the bar. One said Ryan looked back and yelled threateningly on his way down the stairs. The cause of death, according to Deputy Chief Medical Examiner Eric Mont, Ryan Sawyer's heart stopped during the chokehold. The doctor can't say exactly why, but ultimately it deprived his brain of oxygen. The trial continues. Richard Cuthbertson, CBC News, Halifax.
A cadaver dog search for Lilly and Jack Sullivan has come up empty. Police say no human remains have been found during recent searches for 2 young missing siblings in Pictou County. The 4- and 6-year-old went missing in May from their home in Lansdowne, and there hasn't been any sign of them since. The CBC's Angela McIver has the latest developments in the case.
5 months after Jack and Lilly Sullivan vanished, their stepfather Daniel Martel says he continues to search for answers and cooperate with police. That included when cadaver dogs recently came to his property.
I come home and the dogs were already, on scene, and they were there for about an hour before I got there. I didn't know the exact day when the arrival was going to happen. So it was even a surprise to me, but at the end of the day, everything's ruled out there, and I hope this speculation, turns elsewhere.
2 dogs trained to detect human remains were brought in from British Columbia the week of September 22nd. They spent about 3 days searching a total of 40 kilometers for evidence of the 2 missing children.
They didn't locate any human remains or anything associated to this file or any open files. So there was no
Staff Sergeant Rob McCammon is the officer in charge of major crime and behavioral sciences in Nova Scotia. He says the dogs scoured the Lansdowne property where the siblings lived. They also sniffed the woods where a pink blanket was previously found and a nearby pipeline and intersecting trails. He wouldn't confirm whether people were questioned during the latest search, but Martel tells CBC one of the RCMP dog handlers had tough questions for him about the day before the children disappeared.
He said that Thursday didn't have enough details, and we think you did something to the kids Thursday night. And I said to him that Thursday was just an ordinary day until they woke up on Friday morning. And that's when, life changed.
Martel says the cadaver dog searched inside his trailer and police even looked under his deck. McCammon says his team is prepared to keep working on this case until it's solved.
This is not something that we stop working on. We've got 2 young children, Lilly and Jack, who've gone missing from their home, and it is a Missing Persons Act investigation still at this time. But we need to find answers to that. There's a lot of legitimate public concerns about how 2 children go missing and we can't find them, so we're going to continue until we have answers.
He says bringing dogs back to these woods again could be a possibility if new information suggests they missed something. Angela McIver, CBC News, Lansdowne.
Police have arrested and charged a second man following 6 cases of anti-Semitic graffiti found in Halifax last month. 2 Halifax synagogues were vandalized with hateful messages. The graffiti was discovered on 3 buildings and nearby sidewalks. Yesterday, police arrested 32-year-old Russell Jared Curry. He is facing charges of property damage and mischief related to religious property. He's also charged with 1 count of public incitement of hatred. 31-year-old Gazim Tapali was arrested last month on similar charges. And Ryan Snoddon with us now from the CBC Weather Center.
And some welcome rain is rolling in.
Yeah, that's right. And by the time we get to tomorrow morning, we're looking at, a pretty good swath of rain, really, especially across northern areas of the province that need it the most. Cumberland County back into the valley. We're looking here at a widespread 15 to 30 millimeters with some pockets that will likely exceed that 30 millimeter threshold, especially up towards Cumberland County. Across the southern parts of the province, more like 5 to 15 millimeters of rain. But again, it's all welcome for sure. Note the timeline of this. That front continues to move through. The winds go from southwest tonight to northwest, and that opens the floodgates and really ushers in that much cooler air mass. We'll see some scattered showers across eastern parts of the mainland and especially Cape Breton on Thursday. Those lingering showers in Cape Breton, most prevalent across Inverness County. And how about those high temperatures? Single digits on the board for most of us for the first time this season with those northwest winds gusting to 50. Get those sweaters ready, Amy and Tom.
Yeah, for sure. Chilly.
The highs, not so high. Okay, Thanks, Ryan. Languor is growing with the provincial government as Cabot Golf tees up another bid for possible development at West Mabou Beach Provincial Park, The land is protected by law and has previously been deemed out of bounds for such proposals. Kyle Moore reports.
It's not the first time a golf course has been proposed for West Mabou Beach. It's a familiar story for residents who live here and one that some want to go away.
There's no appetite here in this community for a golf course at the site of West Mabou Beach. This is a provincially protected park, as Premier Houston said himself.
The company behind the Cabot Links and Cliffs golf courses is taking a third swing at a potential development that would include part of West Mabou Beach Provincial Park. And for now, the province is listening.
We've been very clear this mandate. If a proponent comes to the province with an idea that can bring an economic benefit, good paying jobs, and something to Nova Scotians, then we'll have a conversation, and that's where we're at right now.
2 years ago, Rushton and Premier Tim Houston told the company not to bother applying for a land lease. At the time, it was determined that there was no option in the Provincial Parks Act to allow a golf course to be developed within a park.
There really wasn't a proposal on the table last time per se, it was just conversations. So as I said, this is a process that's unfolding and we'll have the conversation and I'm sure there'll be more to say in the very near future.
Doug Lowry says the beach contains unique sand dunes and wetlands, and one of the reasons he and his wife stayed in Cape Breton after moving from Ontario. According to a study from 2019, West Mabou Beach contains rare plants and animals, including 4 birds that are listed under the Provincial Endangered Species Act.
This is the same thing over and over again that this community is going through, and frankly, everybody's just sick and tired of it.
Lowry says the situation sends the message that the government cannot be trusted to keep the protected designation on the park.
There's certainly been some moves on the part of Cabot and this PC government that have suggested that maybe there are pieces that have been put in place over the past couple of years that might help facilitate the approval of a golf course proposal at the site of West Mabou Beach.
Cabot did not respond to a request for comment or an interview. Kyle Moore, CBC News, Sydney.
Halifax Council has decided to restrict infilling in Dartmouth Cove. Dozens of residents spoke passionately at a public hearing Tuesday evening. They raised concerns about infill damaging the local wildlife and affecting nearby ocean research. A local company has proposed to infill the water lot with thousands of cubic meters of rock. The new changes mean any infill projects could only be for public infrastructure or parks.
The town of Truro is spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to infill ponds created during construction of a baseball field. The baseball field was relocated as part of the Truro Amateur Athletics Club grounds revitalization. It will cost the town more than $628,000 to fill in the ponds. Truro Mayor Kathy Hinton says the work is necessary to remove standing water and alleviate safety concerns. She says the work is expected to take 2 months.
When mistakes are made or when, things are done where we know we can do better, we have to do better. So we are going to come together, we're going to review all the projects, and anything moving forward is going to have we already got a template started from lessons learned, from best practices, and that's what we're going to be doing moving forward.
The total cost of the baseball field, a multi-purpose field, and an 8-lane track has climbed from $8.6 million to $11.6 million.
Marineland in Ontario is rejecting a proposal to rehome their 30 beluga whales to a sanctuary on Nova Scotia's eastern shore. They've released a report that details concerns including pollution and an overall lack of progress on the whale sanctuary project in Wine Harbour. The project is also facing opposition from a small group of local landowners whose unanimous consent is required to allow the project to proceed.
A Nova Scotia man who is one of the only deaf professional wrestlers is working on a new project to make the events more inclusive.
Justin Marriott has helped set up a team of interpreters who are now at every wrestling event held by the local company Kaizen. As Gareth Hampshire explains, those providing the service are all volunteers.
These are the American Sign Language volunteers interpreting the slaps, hits to the mat, and boos from the crowd at Kaizen Pro Wrestling. They're working with Justin Marriott, the Timberley wrestler known as Deaf Power, to provide the service that's creating a new experience.
I really feel like there's been a lot of improvement because I feel like I can get just as immersed in the show and it's just as accessible for me as it is for everybody else. I feel like I can get involved, but if they said no to having interpreters, I'd feel alone or left out.
Marriott made his professional debut last year, and while currently recovering from an injury, is now trying to make the events easier to follow for people who are deaf and hard of hearing.
If the wrestlers are talking to each other inside the ring, or they're shouting at each other, I don't understand what they're saying. Also, if the announcer is introducing the next wrestler, I don't know who it is.
He's not missing anything now, with everything in and out of the ring being interpreted live.
Because wrestling's for everybody, and it's, I bring my kids here, and this is a very inclusive place for people to come and enjoy pro wrestling.
Wrestling is so character-driven that it's a different challenge for the volunteers than, for example, interpreting in a healthcare setting.
Catching all of just like the sound cues of like a body hitting the mat or like a really loud slap, making sure that that is what the audience is getting out of it.
But it's also fun to be part of an event that brings so much entertainment.
One of the wrestlers here, Sevi, running around with a bubble gun and like screaming like a little goblin, capturing that is so enjoyable.
Marriott believes the interpreting team are breaking new ground in wrestling. And because it's hard to find funding for such services, he's grateful they're doing it without being paid, but to support the deaf community. Gareth Hampshire, CBC News, Dartmouth.
Some important rain is headed this way. Ryan has the full forecast coming up.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
Well, after much anticipation, parts of Nova Scotia now getting some rain.
Yes, and all of Nova Scotia is going to have that cool down, too.
Yeah, the kids are going to need their warm jackets tomorrow when they head to school. And yes, back to school for me today. 'Tis the season. The grade 5s are doing their weather unit typically in the fall. So going to be visiting a few schools over the next few weeks. And of course, the magic of the internet, we can do that virtually. Have a look at this. This is the class from Brookland Elementary School in Sydney.
Nice.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, that's a big crowd.
Yeah, all
Good
the
questions?
grade fives. Great questions. Yeah, they were a great crew and lots of great questions that they were coming from all angles. Love it. It was great. And thank you so much for having me to the grade fives. And we'll look forward to it again next week. Okay, so we got another now versus then picture. This is Broad River. In Queens County, it flows into the ocean at Somerville in Queens County. So this was Pat McLeod taking this picture last October. Have a look at it now.
That tells the story, doesn't it?
That's heartbreaking, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah. And let's leave both up just to show that how dramatic that is. I mean, we know how dry it's been. We know that places like the Valley and Cumberland County are the driest, but I mean, this is Queens County and it's dry everywhere. We really, really, really do need this rain that's coming through. And some rain right now coming down. This is a live look at Halls Harbor, and you can see looking pretty damp there on the boardwalk. And we're hoping that we'll squeeze out every last drop here across the province, but it's going to be northern areas that see the most. Basically, where you see that cold front now rolling up in through, and this is great news for this region that has been so dry. This, no doubt, has been the driest spot in the province since June. Is the Valley and up into Cumberland County, and they're seeing the bulk of this right now. Now, I know everybody's dry, and we're seeing some of these scattered showers pushing up to Eastern Shore into Cape Breton, and some showers that have been starting in lighter rain starting to move down towards Queens County, which is great. And there's more to come. This will all stream through tonight, and that cooler air waiting in the wings on the other side. High temperatures, just 7 in Labrador City today, 6 in Moosonee, 10 in Sudbury. This is the air that is on its way for us. Overnight lows tonight, as you will see in a moment, will be very similar to the daytime highs tomorrow. 7, 8, 9 degrees. The northerly winds, 30 gusting 40 to 50 kilometers per hour. And yeah, let's time it out so you can see the bulk of that wet weather done by the time we get to 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Though some lingering rain for Cape Breton, shower chances, eastern and central parts of mainland Nova Scotia. A bright start for you folks in the west. We'll see a mix of sun and cloud here developing into the afternoon, but the spotty showers will be pretty much for central and eastern areas, with scattered showers in through Cape Breton throughout the day and throughout tomorrow evening as well. Temperature highs near 10 degrees for Cape Breton. The northwest winds gusting 40 to 50 kilometers per hour. Some breaks of sun, Antigonish back into the central parts of Nova Scotia, but that chance for showers as well. Northwest winds gusting 40 to 50 kilometers per hour, and a brighter sky, as I said, toward the west, especially the Tri-County area, and that northwest wind again gusting 40 to 50 kilometers per hour. We're warming up a little bit for Friday. Should see temperatures back in the 10 to 12, 13, maybe some 14s in and around the metro area and along that Atlantic coastline. Temperatures right near double digits in through Cape Breton, with a chance for a shower lingering into Friday morning here. And then looking at that sky clearing into the afternoon. High pressure dominating through Saturday. Beyond that, some uncertainty. So I shouldn't say that. Sunday looks great as well, sun and cloud. Monday's where we're starting to get a little on the uncertain side. Late day shower risk for Monday and into Tuesday, Wednesday do have showers, but this is one of those, check back in on the forecast over the next few days. High pressure is going to dominate through Sunday. But there's a big coastal low developing along the coast of the U.S. New York, Boston going to be getting into the mix with this. And the models are really battling over how strong that high will be and how much that low can really break in and across the region Tuesday into Wednesday. Lots of uncertainty. So stay tuned for updates. Tom and Amy.
Sure will.
We will for sure. Okay, thanks so much, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, recently, temperatures in the Maritimes are perfect for a lot of outdoor activities. One of them, golf.
As the CBC's Gwyneth Egan reports, it was yet another record-breaking year for the industry in PEI.
This has been another record-breaking golf season on the island. Golf PEI says the number of rounds played is up compared to last year, and the amount of money golf tourists spent is up as well.
It's amazing each year. You say, well, there's no way we can top last year, but it continues to happen, and the busy streak continues, which is absolutely wonderful.
Total rounds played are up about 13% over 2024. The average amount spent by a golfer on a package trip was up 20%, and room nights booked through Golf PEI packages are up 24%. Sam McPhail is the CEO of Golf PEI. He says PEI's reputation has grown over the last few years, and that's a plus for the economy.
There's all these spin-offs that I don't think people really realize when you're coming to a golf destination. And that's what makes PEI so special. Yes, golf's a part of your day, but who's to say you don't go to the beach, you go to a show, you go visit friends, you go to a culinary experience. And that's where we can kind of find all these nooks and crannies across PEI that really make it a special trip versus just, your run-of-the-mill golf vacation. Okay, well, now we're making it into something a little more impactful.
All the golf tourists can create a challenge for some courses. It can be tough to book a tee time.
Tee time availability is a challenge all across the island. I mean, golf numbers are up everywhere. The days of deciding to play golf the day before seem to be gone on PEI because everybody's booked up well in advance these days.
Some golfers at Belvedere today say they managed to get time, but it wasn't easy. They're visiting from Belgium.
We only planned it yesterday, and there is a lot of people playing golf in PEI, and so it was close by, and it was one of the courts that was still room for us at S4.
There are still a few weeks left at most PEI courses, so the final numbers aren't in yet. But with the warm weather this week, they're sure to grow even further before the season comes to an end. Gwyneth Egan, CBC News, Charlottetown.
Coming up, dry wells. People in Yarmouth County are still dealing with water supply issues after this summer's prolonged drought. Drought conditions are still causing problems in Yarmouth County. As wells run dry outside of town, some residents are turning to the town looking for help, but the mayor of the town of Yarmouth says there's only so much she can do. Pam Mood is the mayor for the town of Yarmouth. Mayor Mood, it's dry down there. I know the town is on a lake water system, so there's drinking water for most people in town, certainly, but those people outside the town on wells, they're going dry, I hear. How are people coping down there?
Some are coping well. There is still a little bit of water left for some folks. Other folks are coming into town to go to the bulk water station that the town put up, I think, 5 years ago. So it's been dry. That's an understatement. I think that's also difficult to say, but it's not an emergency anymore. It seems to be our new reality. So, just learning how to live in this new world.
Aren't we all? The county is offering free water as well, I understand, but there's some confusion, I gather, among the public that your staff may be feeling the brunt of. Can you kind of explain that to folks?
Well, I think what happens, and it's not just here in Yarmouth, I think it's, Canada-wide, that folks are not understanding the difference between the municipal units. So the municipality in the county is handing out the free water with vouchers, of course. That comes from the province. So the province, that's the type of deal they have there. But folks call us. So I get far more calls from the county than I do from any of my citizens on any issues. And, of course, when people are in a panic and fearful, and this is one of those circumstances, water is something we need to live with. They start to reach out, they're not happy. And there's nothing we can do about it in town. So trying to redirect them, making sure that they're, don't abuse the staff. They can't do anything about it. So it just becomes a little bit muddled in who's supposed to do what. And we're just trying to clear that up a little bit.
Yeah, you're not the mayor for the county, you're the mayor for the town. So what are your staff hearing? What are people saying to them?
There's complaints. I mean, some of them aren't social media, but the complaints we get at the desks too, and I get is, we put up a bulk water station in town to help our neighbors. Some would say that's not why. We don't make money on it because the UARB obviously regulates that. That's not us, so we don't make money. But, everything from you need to have, more bulk water stations. You need to have another drive-through, one for commercial, one for residential. The machine's been down. And I hate lineups. I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's water. It's, you have to wait in line because a lot of people need water. And, again, it's not, I think it's in response to the panic that how long is this going to last? So it's really sad to see, and we just want to do as much as we can, understanding, Tom, that as you said, two separate municipal units. I can't dictate what happens in the county. So we just do our best. We put up the bulk water station and that's all we can do. And it's not shut down. We're okay for water for now.
Yeah, and the folks in the county, a lot of them are certainly on wells, and as you say, you're on the lake water system, which I gather is Lake George, not the Lake George that we've been hearing about with the fire, but another Lake George. How are the water levels at that lake? What are you expecting there in the next 2, 3 or 4 weeks? Because as we know, this could persist for some time.
Yeah, it's the levels are down, obviously. We also have concerns. This one makes me giggle a little bit, but we have concerns from environment around. We have to make sure, as some folks would say, there's enough water for the pollywogs to run down. So what happens if it's a choice between, water for the pollywogs, water for the people? So I know what the choice is, but yeah, so the levels are low, but not so low that I've had to say, I think East Hants, Did they not recently have to do, put that message out that you're under a water advisory? We haven't had to do that yet, so very fortunate.
Yeah, and so as you pointed out at the beginning of the interview, this is kind of the new reality that we seem to be facing more often in this province. So just quickly before I let you go, what do you think we should be looking at in the months and years ahead to address this sort of reality, as you say, that we're facing?
Yeah, so Tom, here's the thing that was unpopular about that post, and I meant it in the with the best heart and best intentions. We need to be looking forward. Never mind this year, there's water here, you've got cubes, you've got help. But in the years ahead, what are you going to do? So I said we need to drill wells. I know people can't afford that. A lot of people can't afford that. I just did some numbers because I'm curious. So, around $200 a month if you take out the maximum amount for the longest time. So that's not too bad for some, impossible for others. But we have to find a way to help folks understand that if you need a new roof, if you need a vehicle to get back and forth, we have to pay for those things. We have to find a way to look after those important things for ourselves. We can't always ask, the federal government or the provincial government to intervene. I mean, certainly the town has paid millions of dollars for its water source, and we continue to do that. But the post was done out of a genuine and deep concern for folks that have to continuously drive in town. And, what are we going to do? Handing out bottles of water, and driving to a place just to get a voucher when you can just go to the store and get a bottle for $1.50. Like, it just doesn't, it's not matching up with what we need. It may help, but it's a Band-Aid. So we had to sit down and figure that out. And we're part of the solution because, we don't have a water issue, but when our neighbors do, it affects us because we want everybody to be okay.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Future discussions to be had for sure. Pam Mood, thank you very much.
My pleasure, Tom. Have a good night.
Coming up, Prime Minister Mark Carney returns from Washington with renewed interest in a controversial pipeline project.
And former FBI Director James Comey was in court today asking for criminal charges against him to be dismissed. Welcome back. Prime Minister Mark Carney has returned to Ottawa after meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House.
Now he faces questions about what's ahead and whether a controversial pipeline project may be revived. The CBC's Kate McKenna reports.
From the Oval Office to question period, Mark Carney faces renewed pressure to get a deal with the U.S.
As the president said yesterday, the Prime Minister of Canada is a tough negotiator. We will get a great deal.
Mr. Speaker, give me $1 trillion and even I will say something nice about this guy.
There's no sign of a deal yet, but a source with knowledge of the meeting said that Carney raised something that Donald Trump wants, a revival of the Keystone XL pipeline, a pitch that got lawmakers talking.
Well, you know, Keystone XL is one of those projects that's been kicked around for a long time. Certainly, it could be another one of the levers that increases North American energy security, and so it certainly warrants exploring.
We've talked to all the players who are potentially going to be able to partner to make that happen, and I'm pleased to see that it's elevated. I think that would be good for us, and it would also be good for the United States.
Any pipeline's a good pipeline. We just need more delivery. We got a whole bunch of things that have to happen before that, though, like the emissions cap disappearing. We've got to make sure we've got the ability to export and produce our oil and our resources in Canada.
Keystone XL would run from Alberta through the U.S. It's been proposed and killed before. Donald Trump has said he wants to revive the project, posting on Truth Social in February that he wants to get it built now.
Is there really a willingness on the part of Mark Carney to make, I think, fundamental adjustments to Canadian climate policy?
Conservatives say for a new pipeline to work, Liberals would have to repeal environmental regulations.
Getting Keystone XL built is one part of the problem, but a production cap preventing new oil and gas development here in Canada won't do us any good. It doesn't matter if you can build a pipeline, put it in the ground, if you can't put anything through it.
There's also the question of whether a private company wants to move ahead with Keystone XL. The previous proponent, South Bow, said it was moving on, but now the company's tone has shifted, saying it's looking at potential opportunities. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Ottawa.
A longtime target of U.S. President Donald Trump is pushing back. Former FBI Director James Comey is trying to get the criminal charges against him dismissed, arguing that he's a victim of a vindictive prosecution ordered by the president. The CBC's Katie Simpson reports from Washington.
As far as high-profile court cases in the U.S. go, it doesn't get much bigger than this. James Comey, the former FBI director, appeared before a judge to enter a not guilty plea, while his lawyer wants the case completely dismissed, calling it a vindictive prosecution. Comey is charged with one count of making a false statement and one count of obstruction of a congressional proceeding, accused of lying about leaks to the media when he testified before Congress in 2020. The charges came shortly after President Donald Trump posted a message to his attorney general on social media demanding she go after his opponents, specifically naming Comey as a target, with Trump continuing his attacks from the Oval Office.
I think he's a crooked guy. He's a dirty cop. Comey, I think he's a dirty cop. He's recognized by many people to be a dirty cop and dishonest guy.
Trump's words and actions are being condemned by Democrats who say the president is weaponizing the Department of Justice.
This is a very dangerous time for America, where you have a president of the United States who does not respect the rule of law.
Trump has said he expects there could be more criminal charges against his critics. And today he called for the mayor of Chicago and the governor of Illinois to be jailed because he said they failed to protect federal immigration officers. As for Comey, if the trial proceeds, it's scheduled to begin in January. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Washington.
A 29-year-old man has been arrested in Florida and charged with sparking a fire near L.A. on New Year's Day. It later erupted into the deadly wildfire that killed 12 people. Jonathan Rinderkant is a former resident of the Pacific Palisades area. Journalist Steve Futterman has the details from Los Angeles.
The man is accused of starting a fire in the early hours of January 1st. Now, that fire was put out, but it did continue to smolder. It became what authorities call a holdover fire, and then on January 7th, When conditions presented themselves, the wind, the heat, etc., that fire reignited and became the deadly Palisades fire.
12 minutes into the new year, environmental sensing platforms indicated that a fire had started. It took the defendant several tries to contact 911 to report the fire. He fled the scene in his car, but turned around after passing fire engines driving in the opposite direction to fight the fire.
Officials described the meticulous way they tracked down the suspect.
Over the course of the last 8 months, investigators conducted hundreds of interviews, including witnesses overseas, and pursued more than 200 leads. We collected more than 13,000 items of evidence, including fire debris, digital data, DNA samples, all analyzed by ATF's state-of-the-art forensic lab.
Authorities would not speculate on a specific motive, but they seemed to strongly suggest that this man was fascinated by fire. They talked about an AI image that he helped produce showing a city being burned down. Also, they said he was fascinated by a French rap song that talks about fire and the music video from that song showing a trash can being set on fire.
As the Palisades fire burned, victims perished in the smoke and flames. Homes where cherished family memories and belongings were turned to rubble and ash. The iconic Pacific Coast Highway along Malibu looked like a war zone. Thousands of people were forced to evacuate. Though homes and businesses cannot be rebuilt, this arrest, we hope, will provide a measure of justice to all those who were impacted.
The investigation goes on. Additional charges could be filed in the weeks and months ahead. Steve Futterman, CBC News at the federal courthouse in Los Angeles.
U.S. Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff and Donald Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner have joined Gaza peace talks in Egypt. Israeli leader Benjamin Netanyahu's top advisor also arrived to take part, and there are signs of progress in the two-year war between Israel and Hamas. Crystal Gamansing reports from Jerusalem.
Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said that he received some very encouraging news about the peace negotiations and that things were progressing quickly. Now, day 3 of those peace talks in Sharm el-Sheikh did include some high-profile individuals, including the U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and the American president's son-in-law Jared Kushner. Officials around the negotiating table, and these are indirect negotiations happening between leaders of the delegation for Hamas as well as Israel. They are trying to get agreements on that 20-point plan that was put forward by U.S. President Donald Trump. Well, it is a detailed and complex plan. The American president yesterday expressed optimism.
We're in very serious negotiations to, I guess you could say, depending on the way you count, 3,000 years. You could say 500 years. You could say, but that it's been raging for a long time. And I think there's a possibility that we could have peace in the Middle East. It's something even beyond the Gaza situation.
In the meantime, strikes on Gaza continue. In fact, Turkey's President Tayyip Erdogan said that the obstacle to peace is the fact that Israel continues to strike Gaza. He said that peace is not a single-winged bird, that placing the entire burden of peace on Hamas and the Palestinians is neither fair, correct, or realistic. In Gaza, a number of Palestinians expressed hope that they could return to their own lives, and they want to see Hamas accept that deal. Hamas did come to the table today with a list of Palestinian prisoners that they want to see released in exchange for the release of the 48 hostages still being held in Gaza. Crystal Gamansing, CBC News, Jerusalem.
The World Health Organization is asking India to check if contaminated cough medicine was exported. It follows the deaths of 17 children under the age of 5 linked to a toxic ingredient. The deaths were reported over the past month after they consumed cough syrup. They were all linked to the Coldriff medicine, banned earlier this month after tests confirmed the presence of a toxic chemical. Indian officials say it was found to be nearly 500 times the permissible limit. According to the local public alert, it can cause kidney failure, neurological complications, and even death.
A Winnipeg judge has stayed sexual assault charges against former fashion mogul Peter Nygard. They relate to allegations stemming from the 1990s. A judge found Nygaard's right to a fair trial was violated when police failed to retain records relating to the allegations. Nygaard was charged in 2023 after police said a woman came forward alleging Nygaard sexually assaulted her at his warehouse in 1993. The 84-year-old is already serving prison time after being found guilty on 4 counts of sexual assault in Ontario. He still faces a trial on sex charges in Quebec and extradition to the U.S. on sex trafficking and other charges.
Fitness equipment company Peloton is betting big on new technology powered by artificial intelligence. It comes as the company tries to come out of its post-pandemic slump in sales. Nisha Patel looks at whether AI could replace a human personal trainer.
Starting right with some bicep curls.
Lately, almost everything is getting an AI upgrade, even your workout.
Exhale on the up. Good.
Peloton's latest equipment has added voice control.
Okay, Peloton, increase the weight.
And an AI-powered camera that tracks movement and offers real-time personalized feedback.
Try to go a bit lower if you can.
If you're doing, say, a push-up and your back is arched too high, we can detect that, tell you like, hey, lower, get it all straightened out.
Peloton is trying to draw in new customers. After peaking during the pandemic, the company's stock has tumbled 90% as people return to the gym.
It's like having an AI-powered personal trainer in your house for a fraction of the price.
But all of it comes at a higher cost. The machines now start at $3,500. The subscription fee is now $60 a month.
Here we go.
And there's a lot of competition, from an AI-powered mirror to this smart home gym.
It is, multi-billion-dollar industry that is growing in almost every regard.
These shoppers are willing to give it a try.
If there is anyone, even if it's AI, that can help you, I think, why not?
I think I'd rather have a trainer that's a person.
This Toronto gym, though, is keeping things simple and low-tech.
One of the limitations of AI is that you're primarily going to be getting verbal cues, which can be great for some people. For others, though, they need more than that. They'll need someone to actually position them. Just grab onto the bar.
Personal trainer Carlos Salati is confident many will still come to work out in person.
It's putting out a hard effort amongst other people who are doing the same. There's something about that just brings people together.
That human element, he says, is tough to replace.
Knees up and down.
Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
Canada's main stock index finished 150 points higher today, boosted by strength in the technology and basic materials sectors, while U.S. markets were mixed. Here's a look at the numbers as we head to break.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a while. Have we need a good solid rain? And, well, at least we're getting some of it tonight.
Yes, a lot of people maybe sleeping with the rain outside.
Yeah.
Very calming and reassuring this time of year.
That's right. And, you know, the photos I showed earlier of the comparison between last fall and this fall, and I've been posting those on, Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, and the comments that folks are making as well, just like hoping and praying for rain. And everybody, we're all on the same team here. We all need it badly. Here's one more example of just how dry it is. I know we've already been to the La Have once this week, but had to go back with this picture here.
A lot of rocks visible there. Huh?
The mighty La Have not looking so mighty there. Doug, thank you so much for sharing this, and we're hoping that looks a little better tomorrow, but it won't really be enough there, given the southern part of the province not going to be getting nearly enough, 5 to 15 millimeters. It's the northern parts that will see a little more in the beneficial rain, with 15 to 30 millimeters, or perhaps even a little bit more for Cumberland. Now, as we look at the outlook into Friday, some lingering showers in through the east into Cape Breton, that area of high pressure moving in, and then we're looking at a really nice Thanksgiving weekend. 8, 9, 10 degrees is about as warm as it'll get for Thursday. So that's definitely going to be cool with those northwest winds gusting to 50. A little bit warmer on Friday, low double digits, and then we're back into the teens as we look ahead to the Saturday, Sunday, Monday timeframe. As I mentioned earlier, uncertainty Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as a system, a coastal low off the coast of the U.S. will try to work its way in. High pressure trying to hold on for us. I'm off for the next few days, so Tina will keep you posted on that.
She will for sure. Okay, yeah. Ryan, thank you for that. Well, a new NHL season began last night with a nod to the last one. There you go. Defending champions Florida Panthers raised the Stanley Cup banner, signaling the start. The Panthers hoisted their second banner in 2 years to the rafters before beating the Chicago Blackhawks 3-2.
With hockey season now underway, Canadian teams are set to play today. The Toronto Maple Leafs will go head-to-head with the Montreal Canadiens.
Go Leafs go, and the Edmonton Oilers and the Calgary Flames will face off in the season's first Battle of Alberta.
Should be an interesting season.
Yep,
for sure.
Always.
That's it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.
Good night.